I'll speak in the Busia style. Madam Speaker and colleagues, I join my colleagues and the rest of the country to pay a tribute to the lost hero. Honorable Ssegirinya was a great friend because he had character of the people of Busia border. I would say so because he was a leader who had qualities that voters want. Madam Speaker, you have given me 1 minute, but in Busia, heroes don't die. Honorable Ssegirinya, honorable update. I want you to update God about this question. That Uganda, we are a country which in this century, we are still talking about denying our people bail and bond. Honorable Ssegirinya, the second update to God. Tell him that this is a country which is still taking civilians in military courts. Honorable Ssegirinya, update number 3. Report to God how you have been belonging to a mingled political party which is not organized. Honorable Ssegirinya, lastly, I want you to request God to bless the Speaker and the Commissioners for the support they have given you. And also request God to allow the Speaker to be the second National Vice Chairperson for our party because of her good heart. Lastly, Madam Speaker and my colleagues, words of living people when they are dead must be taken seriously. Madam Speaker, Honorable Ssegirinya, when he was still alive, there are some people he on his grave. Those people are now crying more than the relatives of Ssegirinya. Moreover, Ssegirinya, before he died, he told them, you authored a letter saying, I am not sick, don't step on my grave.
Let's have order.
The words of Ssegirinya must be taken seriously.
Can you all sit?
I think you are for protection. When Honorable Ssegirinya was still sick, there are words he spoke, and I want those words to be respected on his grave. Madam Speaker, Honorable Ssegirinya, there are some people he listed in his party that they should never step on his grave because they ushered a letter saying he's pretending that he is sick. These people should not step on the grave of Ssegirinya because I saw them yesterday, Madam Speaker, when they are crying more. Why are they crying more than the relatives of Ssegirinya?
Thank you.
Why are they crying, Madam Speaker?
Honorable
I don't have a request.
Honorable Ssegirinya, we met in Chebando, where I do some business, and he was consulting. I love your style of leadership as a member of parliament, belonging to a party, and you are able to tell them the truth. And he said, I want to join you. I told him that you are most welcome, but you have to do ABCD. I told him you have to prepare yourself to actually be that member of parliament who will not be compromised when you come in parliament. And we agreed that he could start as a councillor at KCCA, get some money to support himself, such that when he is on the floor, when he joins parliament, he's a bit decent, not rush for this money, you know, the money that I'm talking about, and such that you can survive that blackmail. I am very, very happy that what we discussed from my business place in Chebando is what exactly Honorable Ssegirinya did. He came to Parliament with a vision of looking at the poor people. Cried that he should be allowed to go for treatment. That's very, very sad. Even when we say he has not been killed, in law there is a principle, thin sick principle, where you must explain somebody who is weak when he disappears in your hands. And this is what has happened to Muhammad, and the community is asking us as government, could we not have done better? I know, Right Honorable Speaker, Parliament did their best, but you did it too late because this man required that treatment at the right time. It was too much already on him that you were just now literally like wasting resources because the time had run out. I will pray going forward that government should be sensitive on the rights of people they have sent on remand. If they seek bail to go for treatment, they must know that bail is part of Article 28
Switch on.
of fair hearing. Because if I am in custody of police, I am on remand in prisons, it does not take away my right to defend myself. And it is during that bail time that I can prepare my defense. How many times is this government going to imprison Dr. Kizza Besigye? Have we not had enough of imprisoning Dr. Kizza Besigye? If he died in prison, what would we explain to this country? What would we explain to this country? Why can't we produce him in courts where it's supposed to be produced? There are several constitutional rulings, even to the Supreme Court level, requiring that civilians should be tried in in civil courts. Why is he still being tried in the military court? This type of torture to receive coffins of Ugandans is not the type of politics that I would want to practice when I'm a member of parliament of the ruling party.
Thank
I
you.
want
that this parliament find means of helping the children of the Honorable Ssegirinya. That is one. And then two, I know as members of parliament we have a norm of contributing to members who have died. I pray that as members of parliament, each of us contribute 500,000 and we get some money to support the family, especially the wives of Honorable Ssegirinya, to take on the mantle that Ssegirinya was taking on. The children of Ssegirinya. Right, Honorable Speaker, for me, if that is done, I will be a very happy man. I saw...
Can you conclude?
Right, Honorable Speaker, the clerk was taking your attention, but my proposal, we contribute either 500, one member is telling me 1 million, 500 each member.
You know, when we pass a resolution here, you are the same people who went in the streets, who started bashing the speaker, who started doing what? My proposal is, let's contribute personally. Let's contribute. For me, I can take up one kid and educate one kid in my school. After this, look for me and I will take up one kid. Ssegirinya, where is Ssegirinya? In which class? Exactly. I will pay your fees and I will take you to my school for secondary.
Right, Honorable Speaker,
Yes.
thank you so much. And as of parliament, without discriminating the political belief, the size, the constituency, thank you so much. Thank you, and may you reign forever.
Amen.
Thank you, Right
Mitiana
Honorable.
Goret.
Right Honorable Speaker and the honorable members, I rise to support the motion to pay tribute to our fallen colleague. And on behalf of the people of Chinchiz East, I convey condolences to the family, the mother, and the family of Ssegirinya, Honorable, to you, the Speaker of Parliament, and all members of Parliament, because this is our colleague, to the members of the National Unity Platform Party where he belonged, and the entire opposition, and the people of Kawempe North. whom he represented in this House. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ssegirinya made his name through activism, and many of us knew him before coming to Parliament, because he was very active in the public space, and people would always say, that man might end up in the Parliament, as if he should not be in the Parliament, and indeed he came to the House. When he came to the House, he was a member of Parliament who reached out to anybody and everybody, irrespective of where you stood. For instance, he approached me and said, Honorable Baryomunsi, I know you from the public. I have a wife who hails from your constituency, in the village of Kambuga. So I am your in-law. And yes, and we began relating as such. So we, the people of Kanungu, he was our son-in-law. He's our son-in-law, and we have lost our son. I think there are many lessons that we draw from the life of the Honorable Ssegirinya, that you can rise from a humble background and rise to any position as long as you know what you want. Because he rose through political and media activism and became a member of Parliament. I would also like to salute him for his spirit of altruism, concern for the others, because as we heard from the many eulogies and as we knew him, even when he served as a member of Parliament for a short time, but he was on the ground trying to address the concerns of the people of his constituents. And we, yeah? Sewanyana, rather. And I remember even his long time on remand concerned some of us. I think this is the Honorable Sarigwa or Muhammad Chivumbi, where we discussed it at some point. I also know that being in prison, it depressed him so much that at one point he even refused to take medication until when we had to come in and counsel him as a medical doctor. So we're in touch with him, and we really feel sorry that he has died when he had not accomplished his assignment as a member of Parliament for the five years. Madam Speaker, allow me to make comments on some of the issues which have been raised in this debate. Many of them, I think we have time and space as members of Parliament to debate them, the nature of politics, human rights, all these issues. We have time to discuss them as members of Parliament, but probably allow me to speak on two issues, bail and bond. The President, the President, Yoweri Museveni, has an opinion that maybe bail should be denied on some offenses, as an opinion. But that opinion, I have heard him say, I will engage the Chief Justice to see whether maybe there can be practice directives or what. But this has not been translated into law.
Honorable members, let's listen. An opinion is not law.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what I'm saying. You had your time to speak, I am now speaking. You see, the problem, Madam Speaker, that we have in this country is intolerance. We should be able to listen to each other. My view may not be the same as yours, but you should give me a chance to say what I want to say. And as we move forward, Madam Speaker, we should, as members of Parliament and political leaders, promote that culture of tolerance even when our views are different. So on that issue of bail, it's an opinion that he has been holding, but if it was to be so at the end, it will come here, either through amendment of the Constitution or the laws. And I don't think any judicial officer currently is designated to fail to make a decision, because the law still gives judicial officers discretion to decide on matters of bail when cases are before them. So a judicial officer worth his name should be able to make a judgment, make a decision, depending on the case before him or her. And I'm sure the lawyers in this House agree. The other issue that has been raised is that maybe government and judiciary should consider maybe dropping charges against the Honorable, the co-accused, Honorable Sewanyana and the co-accused.
I think that is something that we should discuss later.
Yes.
On the issues of political prisoners.
Nothing useful
Well,
to say.
that's what I'm saying. We take note of that request.
Take your seat, sir.
You know,
Doctor, you finish? Switch on.
I will convey this to the Attorney General to have an engagement with the judiciary. We have taken note of that concern raised by the members of Parliament.
I think we should also have a date when we shall discuss the issue of the political prisoners.
Okay.
Let's have a date. And
we shall have a debate on even whether that terminology is correct of political prisoners. But that will be for another day. Like I said, the Honorable Ssegirinya had a wife from my constituency. I am not very sure of the children the wife has, but I also, as a member of Parliament for Chinchills East, take up one of the children.
Thank you.
Support the child for his or her education.
Thank you.
I thank you very much. May his soul rest.
Honorable Ssegirinya has fought a good fight, and Ssegirinya Muhammad, Mr. Update, he has served humanity. He has been there for everybody, and he rose from grace to grace. If he tells you how he came from Masaka, how he boarded a Matoke truck, you will not believe it. Ssegirinya has come from very far, but we must thank God that he at least achieved what he wanted. And his humility speaks volumes. How we could learn, if we could learn something from the late Ssegirinya, it would make a change in all of us. When you hear that within those few months that he made an impact in Kawempe, he made an impact in his community, he made an impact in this country, then you must learn something. I want to put a question. Yes. Honorable members.
Is not a privilege. It is a right. But these days we hear you are working under decrees. Where did your Ubuntu go? Let's say, Right Honorable Speaker, we appreciate all you give to members, all whatever you give to members of Parliament. But however, as we, Parliament, we should work for free medical insurance for every Ugandan, regardless of your status. May your soul rest eternal peace.
To pay tribute to our colleague, the Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya. And perhaps before I do that, I also wish to express my disappointment. The Deputy Prime Minister has just walked in. Before that, there was no one on the front bench. Right, Honorable Speaker, yesterday, I reached out to you intending to move this motion, given that Honorable Ssegirinya was one of us. The guidance I got was practice normally is the Prime Minister moves the motion and the lob seconds, something that I was very comfortable with. In fact, I was glad that the motion would be moved by somebody from the government side. it was bothersome that this morning there was no one from government to move the motion. That's very disappointing. I want to appreciate colleagues from the NRM who are here. Honorable Ssegirinya was an opposition member, but you're here, as we normally do. We have lost several MPs in this 11th Parliament. May God help us, by the way. May God help us. But we are normally united in these times. Majority of those who have died belong to the opposition, I mean the NRM, but we are always here, even as the opposition, in solidarity of colleagues. We quarrel and argue about so many things because we don't agree politically and so on. But then we are colleagues. And in death, that's why we normally are united. So, Madam Deputy Prime Minister, please convey my utmost disappointment in the Prime Minister and your colleagues. Right Honorable Speaker.
Message. Because when we are in this house, we are one. Please.
All right. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I'm seconding the motion to pay tribute to our fallen comrade, the Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya, Member of Parliament for Kawempe North constituency, who passed on after a very long battle with illness. On behalf of the opposition in Parliament and on my own behalf, I wish to extend commiserations to the family of the Honorable Ssegirinya, the people of Kawempe North constituency, the National Unity Platform, party he belonged to and loved, and indeed, the entire country on the demise of the Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya. Honorable Speaker, death is a painful aspect of life, regardless of the age at which one passes on. However, losing a youthful legislator at 37 years of age, who had huge dreams and aspirations, is so tragic. Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya grew up in a humble family, as we all know, as he had always talked about, and faced various challenges that shaped his life. Despite limited resources, he prioritized education and engaged in community activities. Honorable Ssegirinya was still studying at the time of his death. Some of us think when we get to Parliament, we have arrived. But he said, I'll keep adding knowledge. That's how hungry he was for knowledge. His experiences deepened his understanding of issues affecting ordinary Ugandans, fueling his passion for activism and advocacy for a better country. Honorable Ssegiriny's national recognition showcases his resilience and ability to connect with diverse people, earning him respect in Uganda's political landscape. Honorable Ssegirinya first gained public attention through his participation in Kampala-based radio talk shows. He earned him recognition as Ssegirinya Eddoboozi ly'ekyebando, translating to Ssegirinya, the voice of Kyebando. During these radio engagements, he would refer to himself as MP2B. Each time he would call, he would say, Ssegirinya Muhammad Eddoboozi ly'ekyebando, MP2B. And this was in the early 2000s, over 15 years before he would eventually become a legislator. This speaks of the fact that when one is resilient and steadfast, it is possible to achieve one's aspirations. When one is resilient and steadfast, it's possible for one to achieve their aspirations. In 2016, he was elected as the Lord Councillor for Kawempe North in Kampala Capital City Authority. He used this position and platform to advocate for social justice and community development. His vibrant personality and commitment to grassroots issues endeared him to many people. During the 2021 elections, Honorable Ssegirinya contested for the parliamentary seat of Kawempe North under the National Unity Platform and won overwhelmingly. He set out to serve his people in various ways, especially healthcare, filling the gaps that were created by government. Things that we do as members of parliament, which should be done by government, buying ambulances, building healthcare centers, fundraisings. Colleagues normally call us for fundraisings, both opposition and the government side, fundraising for a government health center, fundraising for this and that, things that should be taken care of government. But here we are. And Honorable Ssegirinya was filling those gaps. as a member of parliament. Unfortunately, not long after he had joined this august house, he was arrested and jailed for a long period of time over the Vijambia Panga attacks on the population of Masaka region, which saw the killing of many Ugandans. And to date, Right Honorable Speaker, justice eludes the bereaved families because the question of who killed their loved ones has never been answered. To date. While in prison, Honorable Ssegirinya got severely sick, and his condition kept deteriorating by the day. He was constantly denied bail, as we all saw, even though his condition was worrisome. Even when government doctors recommended specialized treatment for him that warranted him to be granted bail, the judge still sent him back to prison, where he continued to worsen each passing day. His lawyers made a plea and produced before court medical records signed by government doctors saying this man should be released on bail to go and get specialized treatment. The judge said, no, go back to jail. After a while, only for him to be abducted outside Kigo prison by gun-wielding men in plain clothes, in total violation of our country's laws. This disregard for the rule of law continues unabated in our country, and as we have witnessed, it affects all of us, including colleagues on the government side, as you have seen very recently. We must jointly castigate this and call for its end. Many Ugandans have been abducted in similar manner, and to date, they are still missing. All this is in a country which prides itself in following constitutionalism. We should be ashamed of these acts. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the denial of bail to Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya feeds into the recent narrative by General Yoweri Museveni lately. He has called for denial of bail and even police bond, something which is not in tandem with our constitutional order. While bail and police bond may not be mandatory, directing judicial officers and police officers not to give them to those before them is unbecoming and should be condemned by us all, because we are all potential victims. Colleagues, we are all potential victims. As we send off Honorable Ssegirinya, may we commit to respect the rule of law, because he suffered due to the disregard for the rule of law. Of late, we have seen threats by our country's Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, threatening our neighboring countries, including Kenya, South Sudan, DRC, and the threats have extended to his colleagues in the military, and even leaders in this country. He, for example, threatened to behead and even eliminate the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, a former member of this House and the leader of the National Unity Platform. This is abhorring and unacceptable. I hope that we can all condemn this and demand for action, because this is not acceptable. While the state continues to disregard these issues and trivialize them, the country suffers disregard for the rule of law. All right-thinking Ugandans should strive for constitutionalism and respect for our country's laws, something Honorable Ssegirinya was very passionate about. Let's fight for our laws. Let's fight for the Constitution, before the Constitution is too weak to defend us, because that time of reckoning will come, regardless who you are, when you need it to fight for you. If you don't fight for it now, it will not be present to fight for you, regardless who you are, by the way. Rest in peace, Honorable Muhammad Ssegirinya, Mr. Update. Thank you.
Can I have, I still have a second. I have honor, the independent seconding first.
And the colleagues, in paying tribute to our friend. Death is an inescapable reality that no one can delegate a person to go and die on his or her behalf. We cannot postpone our own death. Humanity is as Death is as old as humanity, and humanity has never gotten used to death. No one can mock the demise of another person. In African society, solidarity was highly upheld. And I believe even up to this time, solidarity must still be appreciated when we lose a colleague, a friend, even an enemy. I was reading in the social media yesterday, somebody was saying, you should never annoy a system. You can annoy a person because a human being has conscience. And once his selfish ego has been satisfied, he can find in his heart, in his mind, a space to forgive. But the system will never forgive you. And if Ssegirinya happened to annoy the system, I still beg that the system should find a space to forgive this man. He has already gone. The one who moved the motion, which I'm here to second, concluded by saying, may your soul rest in peace. The leader of opposition also spoke the same word, may his soul rest in peace. What is this word, rest in peace? Rest in peace, it is a Latin word. It is derived from the Latin word, which means rescate in parse. It means an idiom meaning the person has fought the good war, has won the race, and is to go and rest in peace. A lot has been spoken of our friend, about our friend, the good things he did in the mighty constituency of Kawempe. And I believe no another leader after him may actually do exactly, or those who will come after him may do what he has actually done to the people of Kawempe. Right Honorable Speaker, some 2-3 years ago, I met at the entrance of our parliament a lady being supported to walk up into parliament. And later somebody pointed to me that that was the mother, this is the mother of the Honorable Ssegirinya. And I think, Right Honorable Speaker, this woman was coming not looking for bread, but for the breadwinner, her breadwinner, to find justice. And justice was not given to her son. Mommy, Allah is the good judge. In the Holy Bible and also in Quran, especially in the book of Prophet Isaiah 57 verse 2, he has found the place of his rest. And I believe the Honorable Ssegirinya has found a place of his rest. All the achievements he has done, the eulogy is being given by his colleagues, with the exception of his enemies. I believe it is a credit on his side, and truly he will find rest, he will find peace. Uganda is bleeding. Right Honorable Speaker, we need to accept this. Uganda is bleeding, the country is bleeding. And I don't know when will this country find the right bandage to bandage the wounds of this country, of Ugandans. We are living in wounds. Everyone finds joy in hurting another person. Much as they say politics is a dirty game, we should be the sanitizers of politics. We should find the right detergent to sanitize politics. Otherwise, I want to pray for the soul, for the peaceful repose of my brother, the Honorable Ssegirinya, to rest in peace. Thank you.